Now, before I go on, I just want to set the record straight and fill you in on a little background about myself. Back in the early 90s, I used to work for Warner Brothers Cinemas. So Keaton's Batman, for me, is the best. Affleck comes a good second, but for me it was always Keaton. It's like, who's the best Bond, Connery or Craig? Both, with a close Pierce Brosnan coming up. Anyhows, I loved Keaton's Batcar. It was sick, sleek looking. It was the tits, basically. But up until Nolan's Batman trilogy, my mind would always ask, who or how did he build the Batcar? He's the world's best detective, wears a cowl and hides in the shadows, yet you're telling me he nipped down to the local chop shop and got them to build him a Batcar. Now I know what you're going to say, he's a billionaire, he can do anything. True that, but he would pay them to keep them quiet, but human nature would eventually take over, and someone would let slip that they did a full service on the Batcar 2 weeks ago. So with all that in mind, this is my version of how I would build a Batcar. And also, this build is going to be for my son, who is a big Batman fan. So without further ado, I'll explain the process of how I built it. So as you saw, I cut down a shampoo bottle, and the bit in the middle with the orange bit is from a dry wipe board. It's an eraser. I bought it, it was cheap, cheerful, and I knew that it would sort of fit the design of the car. So me being me and not properly plan out things, I just let the build take me where it's going to go. As you can see, I had to bulk out either side because the bottle had a kind of like an indent on either side. So I just used some dividers from a toolbox just to pack each side so the cement could fit. And then these jets at the back of the car, these are old deodorant roll-on bottles that I'd used on a previous build, that when I was trying to put it safely away into a box, actually dropped it and smashed it into tiny little pieces. So all those little pieces came into good use. Now the blue XPS foam that I shoved underneath the car, I was having problems because one of it was it was like it was warped and it wouldn't sit properly, but in the end I didn't use the XPS foam because I just worked out how to hide it and make it look like it was sat properly. So after finally getting the engines to stick, I moved on to the front of the car and used some EVA foam. It was a lot easier to use this because of the curves that the eraser had and the bottle. So I just decided to use this, trace it out, cut it down to size, stick it into place, job done. The idea was to use as much plastic from butter cartons and stuff like that, but I switched over to using cardboard because because of the shape of the car, the cardboard would gently go into the imperfections and just hide the curves a little bit. So I found that was easier than the plastic from the butter cartons that I was using, because they're quite thick. So as I said, I just started cutting shapes, mainly triangles. No idea. I think I had in mind I'd seen a picture of a stealth boat, and it was all sort of triangly looking. So I'd sort of based that sort of design for my Batcar. So I kept adding pieces together and made the spoiler for the back, and then moved on to deciding what sort of wheels. Nicked these wheels off some cheap €1.50 car, Jeep I think it was, and then proceeded to cover them with more cardboard, because it was easier, like I said before, to just cover the curves. And then from there moved on to the sort of like headlight bits. Wasn't really sure what I was doing, just needed to break it up a little bit, so I was just using some of this styrene rod that I randomly found at the bottom of one of my drawers. And what I'm cutting there is the tubing from spray bottles. I'm just going to use them as some random sort of headlights for the front of the car. And then I just used greeblies from different model kits, just added bits and pieces here and there, just to give it a little bit of texture. I didn't want to go too overboard with the with adding the bits, but I'd got Deadliest Props to rustle me up some machine guns for the front of the car. I stuck another machine gun on the other side, which was from the same Jeep that I took apart for the wheels, and then I just sprayed it black, and then I started doing some copper dry brush, and then hit it again with some silver dry brush, and then I made a mixture of like a midnight blue, just to give it that sort of gunmetal sort of sheen. And that's basically the Batcar. No other colours were needed. I just gave highlights here and there, and that's it. So this one is for my son, like I said, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, even share, even though I don't know how you share videos, but it sounds good. It's what all the other YouTubers are saying. And as always, thanks very much for all your comments. Keep them coming. If you've got any ideas of what you want me to see build next, let me know. And until next time, keep scratching that build.